We are now in the the Holy of Holies, maybe the inner sanctum of the Sherlock Holmes collection. We're down in the caverns underneath the Anderson Library. This is where all of the different archives and special collections materials are stored. But we're in a separate little room that is used to house maybe some of the more valuable collections, and part of that is the Holmes collections. This is definitely one of the treasures from the collection. As you can tell from the title that's been put on this very fancy binding, this is the first appearance of Sherlock Holmes anywhere. This is the Beaton's Christmas Annual. This has obviously been rebound in a very nice binding. Inside, you can see what the original publication looked like. So here it is, 1887, the Beaton's Christmas Annual, the very first time a Sherlock Holmes story appears in print. This is the very first time beyond the Beaton's Christmas Annual that the stories really got into popular hands and the popular mind. So these were the kind of things that people would buy at the train station, at the newsstand. And one of the things that's interesting about the Strand Magazine is it was highly illustrated. So one of the first periodicals to really do that. But Doyle was I think, right on top of things by partnering with the Strand, because this was the first time that I think a publication like this existed that was illustrated and serialized. So he could serialize his longer stories or put a single story in one issue of the Strand, and people would wait in line for the next issue. This is another piece that probably most people are really interested in seeing. And I love these pages because they have so many stories associated with it. This is an original page from The Hound of the Baskervilles. Probably Doyle's most famous Sherlock Holmes story. What's interesting when you look at this is you can see Doyle wrote the stories without a lot of correction. I think when he was writing The Hound, it took somewhere on the order of 4 to 6 weeks for him to do the story totally. This is one that has a special kind of local significance, given the fact that Charles Schulz was a Twin Cities kid. And this is an original panel by Schulz. One of a set of 30 that he did for this particular cartoon, and this has a Hound of the Baskervilles motif as well. So there's a quote that opens the panel from the Hound of the Baskervilles. Maybe one of the more famous quotes from that story. They were the footprints of a gigantic hound. And so there's Charlie Brown and Snoopy, and obviously Snoopy's a little affected by the story.